We started this course, I think it was in 1996, so that means we're now in our 18th year. In the first year that we ran the course, we had, I seem to remember, about 90 students or so, and it was rather interesting. I always wondered how many students will we have in succeeding years, and my expectation was that, having satisfied whatever demand there was, that the likelihood was that over the years the numbers of students would decline, and in practice it's been completely the opposite, and every year since 1996 we've had more students than the previous year. I think this year we've got 155 students registered, so that's the history of the course to date. I think we've had about 2,000 or so students graduate with a diploma. It's an interesting course, I think, because of course there are lots of people who go and do LLMs, for example. They take a year out from their work to take a master's course in competition law and policy. But a lot of people are simply unable to do that in their lives because they've got full-time employment and they can't afford the fees to go somewhere for a year, or they can't take the time out from their careers. And so this course actually came about because of people asking us if we could provide them with some sort of online or distance learning teaching. And as I said just now, we've got about 155 students doing the course this year. When you look at the list of students, a significant proportion of them work for law firms where they are in full-time practice. A large number are in-house lawyers to major companies, which of course nowadays all have to have competition law capacity. We have a significant number of people from competition authorities taking the course, and also, which I find very pleasing, is a number of economists take the course, because I've always passionately believed that competition lawyers have to understand some economics, and I also think that competition economists have to understand some competition law. So that's, broadly speaking, the mix of people that we have taking the course. It's a remarkably international course. It's a course in EU competition law, and of course that means that we have students from all across the European Union. But if you look at the list of people who are here this weekend at this revision course, it really is quite remarkable. And I've just been speaking to people during the lunch break and the coffee break, and we've got people from Swaziland, Malaysia, India, Ecuador, South Africa, Hong Kong, a very, very international audience indeed. And that's because, of course, actually, although the words of different systems of competition law might be slightly different, in the end, the business phenomena that we're talking about, cartels, abuse of monopoly power, these are the same phenomena wherever you are in the world. And so you can be studying EU competition law, but actually you're learning skills and ideas that are relevant to any system of competition law anywhere in the world. Basically, the program is divided into 12 parts. We start by taking the students through the substantive provisions of Article 101, 102 and the merger regulation. These are the three pillars of EU competition law. We then have specific units which address particular topics such as cartels, distribution agreements, the licensing of intellectual property. And then we conclude the course by looking at procedure. How does the European Commission enforce the competition rules, and how do complainants go about complaining if they think they are the victim of competition law infringements. We also have two very important units on the involvement of member states and the extent to which member states can be held liable for bringing about distortions of competition in the market, for example, by giving state aid to favoured undertakings, which brings about an unlevel playing field. It is predominantly a distance learning course, which means that people receive the materials through the post every 2 weeks. They can also access them online. We also have an online discussion group whereby people can make comments or ask questions, and I periodically go into the website and I try to answer questions that I've been asked. So it is predominantly an online distance learning environment. But there's no doubt that it can be really quite lonely, being thousands of miles away from King's College, having no access to real human beings who have flesh and bones. And so we have these two revision weekends when a very significant number of people come from all over the world. And I think people find it very, very reassuring to meet the teachers, to meet one another, to develop friendships whereby they have other people they can talk to about competition law issues. So I think somehow these 2 weekends, they're the thing that bring the whole course together. And I hope and think for the students they tend to be very enjoyable weekends, and it's a very social occasion for everybody, and I think it is actually very enjoyable. Certainly as the years roll on, I think we will increasingly provide more online services to our students.